Hello and welcome to my corner of the world. A couple of weeks ago I shared a treat holder and I promised that I would share another one. So this is the one that I'm going to be making with you today. And it holds a couple of lovely chocolate sweeties in the middle here. So this is based on an idea from Maria Dubert. She was in a swap that I was in Salt Lake City a few weeks ago, and she made this one and it had a magnet, and I decided that I would go ahead and have a go myself and use some ribbon. So we're going to start with a piece of basic black design cardstock, and this is 8.5 by 6.5, and along the 8.5 inch side we are going to score at let's think 2 1/8, so 2 1/8, 4 5/8, 4 5/8, and then 6 3/4. And then we're going to flip it round 90 degrees and we're going to do two scores at 1 3/4 and at 4 3/4. 4 3/4 there. All right, so that's the scoreboard finished with. And what we're going to do is do some cutting. And so if you line this up, you'll see that we're going to lose these two pieces here, these two pieces here, and then we're going to lose these two pieces here. So I'm just going to use some paper snips and I'm going to cut along those score lines. And basically, when you look at the card, this is the smallest flap from that one, so that's the one that's going to be the very top piece. Okay, so you can keep hold of these scraps. They're certainly large enough to do something with. And then our final piece is there. And there we go. And we can get rid of those. Looks like I've got a little ratty end there. I just need to straighten that up. Lovely. So there we've got this piece, and that's how that will map on there. So we're next going to make the score lines to make the sides in these flappy pieces. So I'm going to get a silicone mat and a ruler, and these two pieces here are 2.5 inches wide, so I am going to just make a little mark at 1 1/4 there, and then I'm going to go from that mark to this corner down here, and I'm going to do that on both sides, and then I'm going to repeat on the other flap. So 1 1/4, and then from my mark to my corner, and then my mark to my corner again. Lovely. Then I'm going to put in my score lines, and I'm going to use my folder to get a nice crisp fold, because that will help the box go into a nice shape, including my little corner pieces here. Like that, and then two more. Right, so when we put the box together, this flap on its own is going to come up and to meet these side pieces here, and then that's how you get your triangle there. So first thing I'm going to do, so I don't lose my place, is I'm going to put some tear and tape on those two flaps. And just cut a couple of little pieces and I'm going to run them just next to the fold like that. Perfect. All right. So then I have some designer series paper, and this is the Year of Cheer, and I've decided to use the one that has the silver and gold snowflakes on them there. This one used the silver starburst effect one, and so I used silver ribbon on that. So I've got 4 pieces, and my largest piece is 2 7/8 by 2 3/8, and that's the base of my box. Then I've got 2 pieces that are 2 7/8 by 2 inches, and that they go either side here. And then my fourth piece rather, is on the flap there. Now you don't need to worry about trying to note these down while I'm explaining. I will put the information on my blog, and there will be a link underneath this video to the blog. Now I'm going to be using the lovely 1/8 gold ribbon, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 3 pieces up. So that's the shortest, the thinnest piece, the 2-inch, and the widest piece. And I'm going to leave that one there for a moment, and that's to stop me making a mistake, which has happened several times. So I'm going to put some snail on these 3 pieces, and I'm going to get my ribbon, and I'm going to leave myself a piece there to tie with, and then just lay this down like that. And I'm not going to cut the ribbon off because I don't know really quite how much I need, probably around about 15 inches, but I'm going to leave that till the end because it's easier to cut it off rather than to try and add it on. So I'm going to use liquid glue to stick my pieces of designer series paper down, and that's mainly because I have cut these with really quite fine, oops, we're running short, margins, and with the liquid glue it allows me to float it. Oh, let's move these out of the way. To float it on my card so as I can get it nicely centered like that. Perfect. So then on this one, and so this will actually hold my ribbon in place, and then my last piece, which is on the base, goes here. And there we go. I think I've got that nicely centered. And then this piece here is going to be attached, but without the ribbon being underneath it, and that helps us tie it. Okay, so we're a little out of liquid glue here, but I always keep quite a few bottles. Well, it's not my lucky day. Well, we just have to shake it. There we go. And then this piece will go there. And just hold it firmly for a few moments just to let it adhere. Then it won't slide around when I come to pick it up in a minute. All right. So I'm still going to leave my bolt of ribbon attached, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the front of the box to the 2 side pieces, and just take the backing off my tear and tape here. And just bring it round and just line everything up. And then the other side. Let's bring it round. Line the edge of the box up against the fold on my side and press firmly. Now I can go ahead and put my sweeties in and fold over the top here, and then these pieces, and then I can tie off my ribbon. I'm going to have a go at tying a bow. You never know what's going to come out when you're trying to tie a bow on film, but we'll see if my stars are aligned today. Oh dearie me, gosh. Hope nothing goes wrong with this video. Now I've managed to tie a little bow. Let's just trim that off, and there and there. So that's the box, and I've got one final piece of decoration. I have made a little greeting, and I've used the Cheers to the Year stamp set, and there's a lovely piece here, one that says Season's Greetings, which is perfect for the sentiment I want to use. And I've just, on a piece of white card, I've stamped it in Versamark, and then I have used gold embossing powder, and then I used the two smallest ovals from the Layering Ovals set, one plain to cut out the greeting, and then the scallop one to cut out a piece of black. And I actually cut it out of a scrap that I've used trimmed from the sides of the box. And it looks like I did this one twice. Okay, there we go. Let's just layer that there. And again, I can just gently use my thumbs to smoosh it around a little bit to get it centered on my layer and my background. I'm going to use a couple of dimensionals. And just stick that to the front. There. So we have a silver and a gold version. Really pretty, lovely on your tablescape maybe for Christmas. You can change up the colours for any other occasion that you might want to make these treat holders for. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will put a link to my blog so that you can see the dimensions and get a list of supplies. Thank you very much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, and bye for now.